this. We are now recording the March 20th, 2020 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So we are talking about how staying in is affecting us and all of the businesses around us. Matthew is dropping off the last paychecks that he'll be dropping off.
Ever.
Hopefully, ever.
That's right, client. If you see this, I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
direct
we're gonna have
deposit.
I'm going to talk to some clients in the morning. I was just, waiting till I can. It's a little confidential, so I know one client. He'll talk to me on a Saturday morning. But
Yeah, got
it's
it.
time. It's time. We need to go
Yes,
direct
it
deposit.
is. Yes,
And
it is.
he doesn't need to be paying every Friday. Maybe the hourly people, but all the salary people every other Friday. How about, but they've been paid like that for forever. But if he, it's direct deposit is expensive in desktop.
Got
So
it.
Most of the businesses I know are doing direct deposits and require that.
Can't in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You can't in Minnesota either.
Now, you know what? Candler Hospital has about 1,100 employees or something. And I was talking to their CFO, and he has 100%
Direct
buy-in
deposit.
rate or whatever.
And
I
Sierra
said,
also
how'd you
makes
do
sense.
that?
Well, this is great for people that there are businesses that are large enough that are saying, even though we're not working and we're at a standstill, I am going to pay my employees. We're going to pay minimum wage, minimum amounts.
Mm-hmm.
So
But that might prevent them from getting unemployment. I don't know. But just to finish my thought, so the hospital, everybody's on direct deposit, and I said, well, that you can't force them. How did you do that? And he said, well, what we did was there's no law that says when you get paid on Friday that we can't mail them their check. So they said, okay, if you want to get paid on Friday, you join direct deposit, and if not, we're mailing you check in maybe 7 to 10 days depending on the mail. And he said, and they set up workstations for people that didn't have computers, and even have staff that would help them, like if they wanted to come get their pay stub, for the people who just, and so it just, everybody's signed up there. I wanted to finish it. But so there's the will, there's the way. But Shannon, you said you were talking about unemployment today, and how does that work? If we put everybody on 40 hours at minimum wage just so they get something, they're not laid off, but they're not working.
And every state has different rules on that, but generally that would prevent them from being able to file unemployment because they're still working the same number of hours. They're just making a lot less money.
But are they working? Because what I was thinking about doing was setting up special pay codes. It's almost like it isn't hours worked. It's almost like bonuses. It's like, I don't know.
That's still wages earned. It's still wages earned at that point, so you'd still have to report those wages.
Right. No, I know. It'd be wages earned. Now, Georgia said that employers, after every payroll, they have to report if anybody's been laid off or if anybody was paid less hours than they're usually getting. And so most of our clients are on 2-week rotations. We just did a payroll. So I've got a little time to figure this out, because as this is hitting every client, they're making different decisions over, what they're doing. So I've got to be prepared. And if we're doing the payroll, it makes sense that I've got the bulk login to the Department of Labor accounts. My clients don't even have their logins, I'm sure they had a login at one time, but they're not going to report. They don't know what to do. So part of doing payroll, I think, is going to be handling this layoff reduced hour chore. I don't know.
Yeah, and you
Why
know,
my
normally
stomach's so upset.
reporting,
Is that you?
Do what?
Can I talk again, Shannon?
okay, normally reporting anybody that you're laying off or reducing hours for is only reserved for bulk layoffs or downsizing of companies. So I don't think that's how Georgia normally operates with their, with when they let people go. Because normally the process is you let the employee go, they go fill out the unemployment application online or at an unemployment office, and then the unemployment department sends a letter to the employer fills it out and sends it back, and then the employee is eligible for unemployment. But because of so many people being laid off because the government has literally shut down whole entire industries, that they're waiving that wait period. My husband got let go today, and we filled out his application immediately. He got his amount that he was going to get, and he collects it next week.
Wow.
That never happens.
Isn't it amazing how efficient that process is anyways? Like, here, lay a person off, wait for something to come in the mail. Oh, wait, this person fills it in, they send it back, then it goes to the owner, they fill something in, then they mail it back. It's like, really, guys? Shouldn't that just be better anyways?
Well, it should, but man, the questions that they're asking are so hard to figure out what they're actually trying to ask. And then we had to change one of our answers to one that we didn't think was totally accurate because it wouldn't let us proceed with the right answers.
Linda,
So-
you are muted. Trying to unmute you and it's not unmuting.
It's all right. I'm just agreeing with her.
Okay.
That I've been filling in a lot of forms online, and it'll say that's an invalid format, and it turns, you're like, really, for a phone? What they wanted was +1 space, then they wanted the 909, they wanted everything run together with no dashes, and it's like, okay, but it
How
took
are you
me like
supposed to
about
know that? Right.
5 times. Well, because they keep telling you, no, that's the wrong, invalid format. And
Without
eventually,
any pop-up
you either
to
throw
help
up
you.
your hands and you walk away, or you figure it out.
Yeah, and for the one that we couldn't get past was saying that the plant was shut down because of COVID-19 and that today was his last day at work. We had to say that no, the plant wasn't shut down and today is his last day at work.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if that's a glitch in the Minnesota unemployment system, but I shared it in the chat earlier. I put together a really rudimentary list on the different states' unemployment and their COVID statements. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Go ahead.
Okay. I just need a second. But I got it up on my website and it's not sharing yet. There. It's like I said, it's really rudimentary because I'm not a web designer. So I just took a list and threw it in here. So I've got a lot of information on my website up here, and if you wanna update me, I've got different things on my Facebook.
Awesome. Wow. Wow.
Oh.
You have most of the states in there. Nice.
Yeah, and if it's a special COVID statement, I tried to note that it was COVID. Otherwise, this is just the regular. And
Thank you for that. That's that was a lot of work.
It is.
I had help. My assistant, I gave her a link and she just worked on it most of the day because I didn't have time. And I am planning on in my groups doing at least probably every day or every other day an update on the unemployment situation. And because I was telling somebody earlier, this feels like December 2010, when the payroll law was changing. You know, we'd wake up with it being one thing in the morning, by lunch it would be another thing, and by supper it would be something totally different. And it's constantly changing, and people are revising, and it's just kind of a wait and see and hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we have anything better to do at the moment.
Well, it's like, there's some things we just are out of our control. I mean, the IRS says, all right, we're going to give you until July to pay your taxes, but then they missed the part about extension.
When are the taxes due? When do you file them? Right.
And I'm like, it's sort of like that. I always go back to that 1099 fiasco where everybody was going to get a 1099, and I went, it's impossible. Just
I know.
chill. They'll fix it. And
They will.
there's a big hoopla, and they fixed it. So, but the states, every state stands alone. So the feds are going, hey, you're off the hook at April 15th. And the states are going, huh? Some states are following the feds. So there's something else that,
Well, the state of California said you don't have to file for 90 days and you don't have to pay for it. So this,
Right,
but that doesn't do you any good because you have to file your federal. So who's going to file the California without doing their federal? So
right. No.
I would hope they might extend so that the accountants would have more time to file.
This stuff's happening so fast. I mean, I guess when you're sitting here, it just feels like it's taken forever, but it really is happening very quickly. So
It is.
Amazingly quick considering all in all. But there are still a number of small businesses, the micropreneurs cannot afford to go weeks without having any income. They're the ones that are falling down. They're the ones that are really, really having a hard time with this and going under.
It's like, the little self-employeds, the housekeeper and her assistant, and now we're not letting them in our houses. So they're going to keep cleaning. Like the bug guy came yesterday and I went, don't touch anything. And I said, but call before you come next month, because next month I might not let him in the house.
Right.
And I had to talk to everybody here, my guests, and I was like, can I let the bug guy in? So I want everybody to keep working. I don't want, I had scheduled some concrete work, and I'm just like, okay, you're outside, don't get too close to me, but I didn't want to cancel anything because they need to work.
They need to work, but can you pay them now?
Well, yeah, see, yeah.
It's a domino effect. It really
it's like people over tipping, because right now in a month I may be going, but today, yes, I asked someone to do something, I'm going to pay them. Or if I can afford it. People are over tipping. People are being beautiful with.
And I'm trying to pay much more cash than I am. I'm trying not to overload my credit cards.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I mean,
one of the
things I went to the bank because I thought maybe it's sort of like hurricane mode for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so we always go get let's say a little extra cash, and so I was at the bank, and she said, "Would you like me to put this in an envelope?" And I'm like, "Yes, please," because I'm going to dip it in Lysol when I get back. And she handed me the envelope like this, and I took it. And of course, I have to cut up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to the car. But you have to laugh, y'all.
Yeah.
This doom and gloom is just, it's important, but
Gloomy.
It's gloomy, but we've got the, you know.
I don't know, our weather's real gloomy out here. It's been gray pretty much for 2 weeks
Oh, that
now.
was us yesterday. Today's gorgeous.
Oh,
But then so I'm like, hey, we could do yard work. Everybody's doing yard work. And then I'm like,
yeah.
man, I better get to Home Depot and get flowers before.
Happening
That's
around
not
here
essential, so
too,
that'd
like
be
a month
stupid.
too soon.
Oh,
can do yard
it's
work,
cold
yeah.
up there, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually not this warm this time
Not
of year.
essential to go buy flowers, is it?
No, and no flowers to go get anyway. Nowhere to go get flowers.
But it
So
is
it's
essential.
cleanup time is
That's
what
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Shredding,
The businesses,
scanning,
smaller
cleaning.
local hardware stores, that is essential because we need to have those around in order to, if they're
Maintain.
closing their doors and we're not able to
Oh,
pipe, then
Right.
oh, thank you, Tanya. Tanya said she just read and she put a post in the chat that the US moved the filing deadline back.
Right, yeah, that happened today.
So now see, and this is what's happening.
Well, that's
You
what I
know,
meant. They were gonna
I
fix
tried
it.
to jump in, but everybody was talking, and I'm like, I'll grab the post. So
But I'm reading the post, so you're good. I know I'm Canadian.
We knew they were gonna fix it. Everybody's all up and, you know, and I'm like, they're gonna fix it.
yeah, no, it was announced earlier. I was talking to Lillian Larson in another group, and she had literally just heard it live earlier today. So that's how I knew.
And then somebody else posted some state for Alavera's keeping their blog. Yeah, see, keep up with some of those blogs.
Yeah, really.
Yes, wait for my face. I'm sorry.
One of the things I was hoping to share today, I've been putting together, some of you may have seen my post I did last weekend about support your local businesses. It was like a little video that I trying to show like
Yes.
different companies that you can go and spend some money with, right? I started 2 nights ago putting together a website. It's shareyour.business, share your business, right? Shareyour.business. The intention of it is for people to be able to go and post if there are restaurants, if there's, you know, any small business that's open and has intelligent way, like it's for us to intelligently support our local businesses. So if they have pickup things or delivery options where we can minimize impact or like, you know, contact points, but still
Contact,
support
yeah.
these companies, it is so important. Buy as much locally as you can right now.
Well,
I think,
Sarah's,
Gina's
one of Sarah's
already been
clients
doing that, right?
Trying to.
Is
Go ahead.
offering their parking lot for food trucks.
Yeah.
Yes,
One of my clients, they have a huge parking lot. And so they just, a different food truck every day can park and use their parking lot. Brilliant.
That's awesome.
We've got everybody doing curbside deliveries. All of the restaurants around here, we're not allowed to eat in the restaurant. The bars have been closed, but they'll package up meals and take them out to you. The hardest thing that's been hit around here are the school-age kids that normally get lunches. The free lunches for the kids, you know, they are very hard hit. So we have a lot of churches around here. So there are several church areas that are now putting together lunches and meals for the kids to come pick up and take home. It's not like you get to order what you want. You get what you get, but it is a meal.
Yeah.
Most of our schools around here are actually allowing for drive-up service, and there's no questions asked. Just has to be kids in the car under the age of 18, and they get, you know, one juice, one yogurt, one milk, one apple, one banana, maybe a sandwich or something like that, and they'll get 2 quote-unquote meals worth per kid per day, and it's something, and it's helping, but I can imagine in other parts of the country there's not necessarily the funds available to support that, I guess.
Well, yeah. Greg, you didn't say where you were, but I'm in California and they are serving the kids at the schools.
Yes.
The kids just go pick up the food. And my neighbor across the way works as a food service worker at the school. And she said they're being paid. And even if they don't end up cooking every day, they'll end up being paid anyway because of their union contract. So in California, they're pretty liberal. So they kind of try to cover everything.
That's what they're doing in Pennsylvania. Well, at least in this part of Pennsylvania here. You know, the kids that normally got, and they're not questioning, they're not asking,
No.
like Greg said, if they've got kids in the car. And I'm sure even if the kids are not in the car, they say, I have one or two, somebody at home,
Yeah.
they'll give them.
Yeah.
The problem we're having here, believe it or not, I mean, in such a huge metro area, some of the kids do not have transportation to get to the school to get the
Right.
SNAP program. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And it's, it's big time. Yeah. It's really bad.
And you're in Seattle, right, Larry?
No, Long Island.
Oh, Long Island. Dennis is in the ground zero, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about 50 people have passed away so far, between 45 and 50, something like that.
Most of them were in a nursing home that was
Yeah, it is kind of misleading.
also, but it was a nursing home that was also end of life care.
Yeah, but now
Oh.
they're saying
Hospice.
40 single mother of 5,
Ooh.
Ah,
a widow.
Uh,
I
wow.
saw this one video yesterday. It was like a woman was like about 25, was in the hospital with the virus and was barely breathing, and so
Well,
it's
it's damaging. Even if you survive it, you're having fibrosis of the lungs. You're gonna have trouble the rest of your life. So
yeah.
it's serious enough where so it's surreal because it hasn't like hit here yet. Well, now we have 2 today, but I mean, it's like this invisible. Yeah,
It is.
Creeping
It's
up
like this
around us, yeah.
invisible- At least with like a hurricane, a storm's coming, but this is like this. It's so
like you're enveloped in a fog and you don't know your way around.
yeah. But
In a dark room with a pen light.
yeah.
But there
We
is
have a lot to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super busy.
I am too. I have new clients. I have a couple of new clients.
That's good.
And the other thing is Marriott, and with the help of Matthew and Linda Artisani, has started a 10-day challenge to get certified, the 10-day challenge for QBO certification. And I'm taking that, and I'll tell you, it's excellent. I have learned so much about QBO that I hadn't before, and I'm actually setting up, I track mine with QuickBooks Desktop, but I'm actually setting up QuickBooks Online to download everything and see, and I may need to buy vendor sync. So, yeah. So anyway, because I figure I really need to do that. I still have 3 of those 5 for 5, 5 for 5, 5 for
Yeah, so do
25.
I.
And so although I think I'll set one up as a test one. So
Well, first off, you don't have to buy vendor sync. You got it. All
Thank
the
you.
friends here always are just hooked up. So, but if you see this on YouTube, be sure to mention promo code.
that's right. That's
And that
right.
goes for TBX too.
We're doing a special deal, a combo deal between Trial Balance Exporter and vendor sync to rebuild your data. Call
That's
us.
right.
Call us.
Absolutely.
People are talking about sometimes you just have to slow down to get different ideas or try something new, or so
That's powerful.
even with TBX, a lady had called with a question, and I just started chatting with her, and I don't even know how we got there, but do you know what she's using TBX for? And now I'm like, you don't even think about, thinking outside the box when you're so busy, She reports to a home office who's using a large enterprise system, and their account numbers are crazy long, and it doesn't fit in QuickBooks. And she goes, your program's great because you export the description field. So she's put the long account number in all the description fields, and she has a monthly report that she has to do, and she clicks a button, and there
It is.
I'm like,
Nice.
that is so brilliant, you know.
Very
now
cool.
I have to figure out how do I get that out? How do I bet there's other companies that are tackling that. So
Do a video, do a video
Yeah.
testimonial with her, and then use that to on your channel and other places would be huge.
yeah, I give her some advertising and
Mm-hmm. The win-win.
win-win.
So you guys were talking earlier about going and getting flowers. Little secret is the 99-cent store, at least in our area, always ends up having flowers right about this time. So I went and bought about 5 or 6 different little things of flowers. And you better believe I'm going to go plant them, make myself feel better because it makes it pretty in the yard. And you know what?
There
Getting
you
outside
go.
like that is a good thing. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I've had to walk away from the TV and the computers, and just because it's just so intense and so insidious that I have to walk back out for reality. So
Go for a walk.
yeah, well, I've also had my daughter-in-law's aunt passed away. So
Sorry.
trying to do a funeral in a
Ouch.
situation like this.
Uh,
Yeah,
They're saying here it has to be graveside and less than 10 people.
exactly.
Wait.
And her family with lots of children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren is over 50.
Yeah.
So it had to be done privately. They had to have, and the mother is in a nursing home. So they had to have an ambulance come and take her and take her up because it was her daughter's funeral. So, yeah. And then when she went back to the nursing home, she immediately went into quarantine. So, it's been a difficult situation for a lot of different reasons.
So I mean, maybe we can get some emerging industries out of this, and
yeah.
just celebrating life in different ways. And you're starting to see a lot of people realizing that a lot of their stuff can be done remotely. A lot of businesses are going to realize, oh shit, maybe I don't need the 25,000 square feet of office space. I can get by with 5,000 and have people working from home.
Well, that's going to have implications for commercial real estate. down the
Exactly
road.
right.
Yeah, I know. See,
Yeah.
everything affects everything.
Well, like
Exactly.
Seattle's been on a building boom. They got all these new skyscrapers, and I'm just wondering who's going to fill them. Since it just seemed kind of wrong-headed to me to be building that kind of capacity when technology is going the other way. And I think this is just going to, accelerate it.
It just turns into
Depending on-
apartments worst case. I mean, we keep making
Yeah.
more people, so
Yeah.
that won't be a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
Depending
repurpose
on
it, I guess.
depending how long this thing lasts, there's a lot of businesses, even large ones. They're going to say, "Hey, we did okay. Let these people work from home." They'll make up special agreements that they have to sign and stuff like that.
Yep.
But
Now, if I had children and, and a lot of, I have one gal who is still coming to work, and she can work from home, but she comes over here to get away from all the noise and all. So the other part of that is not everybody has the space at home for dedicated work.
It's a whole different mindset.
So the productivity is,
Going
yeah,
down.
she may be
Matthew was
working, but
You have to dress to think about and be.
Mhm.
Yep.
I don't normally wear this every day, but I did it on purpose actually, just because I knew that I'd be on these different webinars, and I wanted to kind of make the point of it that I remember when I went from working for other companies and then going and working at home. It was very difficult at first to make that transition, especially like I was super OCD about my house had to be spick and span, perfectly clean before I could focus. Now my house is a disaster. It's okay.
I have the same problem. It's like,
Well, this is
I need to be doing
awesome.
laundry. Oh no, I'm at work.
right, right.
And then you go to do laundry, and you're like, I really need to work. And then, yeah.
That's why I got my laundry in the bathroom. Installed that myself. One of the best things I ever did. Love it. Just close that door and I'm like, and first thing in the morning, nothing better than having all your clothes in the dryer. You're like, whew, I feel good.
No, I usually
This-
find it days later all wrinkled.
This does create new revenue streams for those of us that know how to work virtually and can help our clients in that regard. We don't necessarily have to do accounting. We can just show them how to do the virtual meetings, how to work at home virtually, what we do at home, like Matthew. Maybe we get dressed in a business-like way to help us focus and do our work. Shelley's shaking her head no. No, she doesn't want it.
Well, you've already gotten to the point where you're cool without it, right? Like
I'm
I'm trying to grow up to be as cool as Dennis.
I think we all are. Nicely played.
I just posted a picture on working from home in the chat.
Nice.
Go, Linda.
If there are any businesses that any of you know that need some assistance understanding how to set up Zoom, have them reach out to me to connect. I'm not talking for money. I'm not charging anything. This is just a way I can try to give back and help out.
Nice.
That's exactly
really
what I'm doing. Yeah.
I'm helping the dog rescue group that I've been working with, and they have a private Facebook page, and they're like, we've canceled all the PetSmart thing, and how are we going to get these dogs adopted? And so I said, social media, we got to really ramp up. So one lady said, well, I know how to make videos and we can do YouTube. And boom, she had 3 of them on YouTube yesterday. And I said, we can do, like, how do you interview someone to approve them for adoption or approve somebody to be a foster house? Don't go over and visit, do a Zoom meeting. And so they want to know how to do that. And I'm like, here we go. So it's, and it may become the norm that, that we can do approvals and the applications online, but then there's always that face-to-face and, that they need to do. So, in a pinch, or if somebody's, way across town, that just makes a lot of sense. So I think you're right. A lot of businesses are going to change for the, better, or mix up their business model. So,
hopefully the government will change a lot of their forms to be online forms. That would be great, right? Like that would be something that actually would have to happen.
Wow.
But what are we going to do with our fax machines that we all have?
You keep them so you
something yesterday.
I threw my.
It was what's
offer
that
for a
form?
new roof on your house?
what's the 8650? Oh God, I used to have a brain.
The signature form?
When you're a reporting agent. What's the form number?
Dennis, you should know.
Anyway, when I think Shirley just said it, but she's new. Anyway, in order to revoke the reporting agent form, you have to take the original form, write revoke on the top and all this, and fax it.
It is the 8655, Sarah.
8655, right.
They need to 86 that form is what they need to do.
I turned my fax machine off a couple years ago because all these junk faxes were used up on my toner, so I just go to eFax now.
I only use it for faxing out, not faxing in.
I haven't faxed in years now.
But
Dennis,
we were just laughing about the fax machine, and I'm like, well, look here.
Dennis, what do you think I've been keeping for toilet paper?
Never hurts to
Alrighty.
plan ahead.
Guys, I'm going to turn off the recording for this week. We'll be back, same place, same time next week.
Bye.
Keep smiling.